All right, y'all. Again, this video needs no introduction. I need to break something down to you because there is something that I am very, very passionate about, and it is building a content creation business as a busy mom. Now, I already know that if you came across this video, you've come across my content on other platforms, that you know that that's what I'm in the middle of building. Not only do I want to build a content creation business as far as me creating content, but I want to help other moms and wives do that as well. I want to be able to help other entrepreneurs with their brands sometime in the future. I have a whole outline on that. But right now we're starting with my own content creation business, building my own platforms and showing people how it can be done, and then helping other people with their businesses as well. So the first thing on the list is you need to make sure that you know the difference between niche and audience, okay? Because I think that with niche and audience, people think it's the same thing. And I thought it was the same thing for a long time as well. I was like, oh, my niche is working moms, stay-at-home moms, and blah, 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 blah. No, that is your audience. That is your target audience. And that is who you need to be making sure that you are touching those pain points so that you can get your point across, so that you can get them to do whatever it is that you're trying to get them to do, whether it's to follow you on social media, to comment, to interact, whatever the case may be. But finding your niche would be fitness, health and wellness, finance, things like that. So for me, my niche is building wealth or finance or things like that. And then my target audience is working moms like myself / stay-at-home moms. But to be more specific, it is working moms that are trying to go back to being a stay-at-home mom, because that was me. I was formerly a stay-at-home mom, or working moms that want to be a stay-at-home mom. Or again, stay-at-home moms that are trying to generate income, build a business, etc., etc. And generally these mothers and these wives, they are around my age. So they're millennial moms. They typically have multiple children. They're literally myself, okay? So you need to make sure that you are finding your niche and finding your brand voice, okay? Or your voice, because you could be someone that is not necessarily comfortable on camera, and that's completely understandable. You want to be relatable, because if people feel like you're too out of reach, then how are they supposed to relate to that? You want to make sure that you are creating engaging content that connects to other moms. So again, those pain points, like what are people going through that are within your niche, that are within your target audience? What are things that they go through? What are things that they struggle with? What are things that they need, they want, they talk about, stuff like that. Use all of that stuff and you can create content based on that. Let's talk about time management tips, because let me not speak that over myself. I am working on my time management skills. That was one thing that I set out for this year to perfect myself on. And since I am trying to transition from working to being a stay-at-home mom, those time management skills are key, okay? Making sure that you're carving out time to take care of your family, take care of your husband, take care of the household duties and things like that. You don't want things to get out of hand, chaos and things like that, because it's going to translate into your content. You're not going to be consistent with putting up videos, putting out content, engaging with your audience and things like that. You're going to be all over the place because everything in your life is all over the place. The next thing that you want to make sure that you are outlining within this business plan is your monetization strategies. What are ways that you are going to make money? This is something that I touched on in one of my TikToks, and I was saying that a lot of people just put up videos just to put them up. They put it up because it's almost like they're using social media as a hobby, and they don't necessarily have a strategy for it. And so they don't have any idea what direction that content is going to go because they didn't have a strategy or a plan when they put it out. So are you wanting to be monetized, let's say, for example, on YouTube? Are you trying to get into the programs that are available on YouTube? Are you trying to be monetized on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok? If that's not necessarily your goal, what is your goal? Are you trying to get noticed by brands? So what is your plan for that? Are you reaching out to brands? Are you following them on these platforms, interacting, finding out what type of content works for their brand? Finding their contact information and trying to reach out to them? Are you using platforms that allow you to get gifted collaborations so that you can build up your portfolio so that you can work with brands? Do you have something of your own that you're wanting to sell? Maybe you have a digital product or you have a physical product. You need to find out how you're going to be using online or using your content to bring in money for you and your family. The last thing I'm going to talk about is how are you going to scale your business? Now, I think that a lot of times when, and I've seen this with other content creators that I've followed like for years and years, they started out as one thing and then it slowly evolved into something else. And that is how you build a successful brand. You don't want to be known as someone that's always doing, you know, like say for instance, when I started this channel, it was natural hair. So there's no way that you could be sustainable just creating natural hair videos or natural hair tutorials for years and years and years on end. You need to create your own personal brand so that you're able to somehow scale that. So, you know, maybe taking the hair tutorials and turning it into an ebook, or turning it into a course, or the fact that you started out doing natural hair, you grew your following, teaching other people how they can grow their following. That could turn into an ebook or a course or seminars or a conference or something like that. So finding a way to scale that business. For me, like I mentioned earlier in the video, me growing my platforms, I am working towards growing my platforms, learning about each of these platforms, being consistent, learning the ins and the outs so that I am able to then take those skills and help other people grow their brands as well, offering different types of services within that. So how are you going to scale your business? There's no way that, you know, in 20 years, I'm going to be standing here in front of this video and this is the only thing that I'm doing, if that makes sense. You don't want what you're doing now to be the only thing that you're doing. You want to, one, you want to have multiple sources of income, but also you don't want to get burnt out on what you're doing, because let's be honest, it can happen if you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. You've got everything else going on in your life. At some point, you're going to be like, you know what? I don't feel like doing that today, therefore I'm not. And then there goes the consistency. The audience is going to lose interest. And then what happens? Then you got to start from scratch again. You know what I mean? Those are my tips on building a content creation business as a busy mom. I'm sure that you may have questions and I am more than happy to answer those. Again, my contact information is always down below. Click any links that you want to click. Email me with questions. Make sure that you're subscribing, hitting the bell notification, liking this video, and I'm going to see you guys in the next video.